So this is the 8.7 notes, and today's objective is just to identify dilations. So the vocabulary for today's lesson is, first of all, we have to know what a dilation is. And a dilation is a type of transformation that creates similar figures. So remember, there's a lot of different transformations. You have translations, which is moving a figure. You got reflections, flipping a figure. Rotations, which is turning a figure. And then you have dilations. So the other three, rotations, reflections, and translations, will create congruent figures because we don't change the size of the figure when we move or flip it or turn it. But a dilation changes the size of the figure, but it creates similar figures. So the new figure is proportional to the old figure. So to dilate a figure, all you have to do is multiply by the given scale factor. Now, there's two types of dilations. There's a reduction, which just means that you're going to make the original figure is going to become smaller, and the scale factor of the image, the new figure, to the pre-image, which is the original figure, will be less than 1. So it will be a fraction, something between 0 and 1. An enlargement means that the new figure will be bigger than the original figure. So that scale factor of the image, the new figure over the original figure, will be greater than 1. So the problems that I'll be doing are pages 509 to 511, 8, 10, 14, 20, 22, 25, and 26, and number 30. So on number 8, we wanted to identify the type of dilation and also what its scale factor is. So identify the type. First of all, you need to know that this little prime mark means that that's the new figure. So this is a reduction because the original figure got smaller compared to the new figure. So to find the scale factor, all we need to do is put the new over the original, one of the new sides over one of the original sides, the one it's proportional to. So in this case, PC is 6 and or P prime C prime is 6, and PC, which is the original one, is 14. So I just reduced that, so that means that my scale factor is 3 over 7. Okay, on number 10, we're also supposed to identify the type. So on this one, because my new figure, which is indicated by J prime, is bigger than my original figure, this is an enlargement. So the original figure got larger. So for my scale factor, I want to put one of my new numbers over my original, and the corresponding one that I know is K prime M prime. It corresponds to KM. So I'm just going to put 28 over 14 and reduce that. So my scale factor is 2 over 1. So I know all of my other sides will be proportional to that. Should also have a scale factor of 2 over 1. So JK prime would be equal to or proportional to JK, and I know it should be 2 over 1. So I know that JK prime is 16, so to make it 2 over 1, this JK would have to be 8, so X is equal to 8. So doing the same thing to find Y, J prime M prime is going to correspond to JM. So J prime M prime is 32, and I don't know JM, that's Y, but I know it should be 2 over 1, so that makes the Y value 16. Now you could go ahead and cross multiply and divide there, but you probably can see that it's 16. Okay, on number 14, we're supposed to dilate this image by the given scale factor, and the given scale factor, and by the way, they'll call scale factor is usually use the variable K, so the scale factor for this one is 1/3. So what you need to do first is write down the coordinates of each of these points that are given to you. So I have all the original coordinates here. D is negative 5, 4, E is 3, 2, G is negative 3, 4, and F is 5, negative 3. So all I'm going to do is multiply each one of those by the scale factor 1/3. So I know this is going to be a reduction. So negative 5 times a third is negative 1 2/3, and 4 times 1/3 is 1 1/3. So the new D prime point is negative 1 2/3, 1 1/3. When I multiply E, 3 times a third is 1, and 2 times a third is 2/3. When I multiply F, 5 times 1/3 is 1 2/3. Negative 3 times 1/3 is negative 1. And then G, negative 3 times a third is negative 1. And 4 times a third is 1 1/3. So these would be points that we could graph. Now, since these are fractions, we'd have to estimate where they are. But we could graph those points and then draw the new figure, and you'll find out that that figure is smaller than the original. Okay, on number 20, it tells me in the directions that the red triangle is the image of the blue triangle after a dilation. So that means that this is a reduction because the pre-image is bigger. So the pre-image is the original one. And then I want to find the value of the variables and then the ratio of their perimeters. So to find the value of R, I know that R corresponds to 12 on the smaller triangle. And so I'm going to use two other sides that I know. I know 15 corresponds to 9, not to 19, but to 9. And then I can just go ahead and cross multiply and divide here. I have 9R equals 160. Or rather, 9R equals 180, because 15 times 12 is 180. And then I would divide both sides by 9, and so R is equal to 20. So I'll do the same thing to find T. I know that T corresponds to 30, so I'll put T over 30. Now, since I started with the smaller triangle this time, on the other side I'll need to start with a smaller triangle, so I want to do 9 over 15 this time. So I have 15T equals 9 times 30 is 270. Then I divide both sides by 15. And that makes T is equal to 18. Now, remember the ratio of the perimeters. This one's 18 and this one's 20. Well, the ratio of the perimeters is the same as the scale factor because remember, we have a theorem that tells us that. So all I need to do to find the ratio of the perimeters is find the scale factor. So I can just take any of my sides, like 9 that corresponds with 15, and then just reduce it. So it's 3 over 5. And remember, I always want to put the original one, or the new one, which is the image, over the original, which is the pre-image. And that tells me that that was a reduction. Okay, on number 22, it tells us that triangle ABC is dilated and it creates triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. It says to sketch the dilation, but that's not necessary for you to do that. But then it wants me to identify if it's a reduction or an enlargement. Well, I can tell that the new figure is getting smaller, so that's a reduction. Then I need to find the scale factor. So I just put the new 2 over the original 6. So the scale factor here reduces the 2 1/3. And so then I just need to find my missing variables. So I can do 2 over 6 equals B prime C prime over 9. And so that would be 6x equals 18. So that would make B prime C prime 3. And then I'll do the same thing again for A prime C prime, 2 over 6. And I'll call that y over 12. So 6y equals 24. Divide by 6 and you get y equals 4. Okay, on 25 and 26, it talks about projecting images onto a wall with a flashlight. And there's a picture in your book on page 511. And I've written down the information that was given to us. So I know the lamp distance from the wall is 8.3 centimeters. The lamp distance from the cap, so you put a clear plastic cap over this flashlight, That's 2.7 centimeters. The diameter of the cap is 3 centimeters, so on 25 we're trying to find the diameter of the image on the wall. So I can just set up my proportion using the distances. So 8.3 centimeters compares to 2.7 centimeters. And then I want to use the wall image would go on the top here and 3 centimeters on the bottom, since this is the wall over here and this is the cap down here. Make sure you get your proportions set up right. So cross multiply and divide, I get 2.7x equals 24.9. Then divide by 2.7, and that is approximately 9.2 centimeters. So the distance, or the diameter of the wall image is approximately 9.2 centimeters. Now I'll do the same thing to find the height of the wall image. So again, I'm going to use my 8.3 and my 2.7. And I don't know the height of the wall image, so I'll call that y. And I know the height of the cap is 2 centimeters. So this time I have 2.7y equals 16.6. Then I'll divide by 2.7. So y is approximately 6.1 centimeters. So the height of the wall image is approximately 6.1 centimeters. Okay, on number 30, we're just supposed to fill in the missing information from the table. So I need to find CD, so that's going to be my x. I know it corresponds to C prime D prime, which is 14. And then I can use AB2, and that corresponds to A prime B prime, which is 12. So cross multiply 12x. 14 times 2 is 28. Divide everything by 12. And so that makes CD equal to about 2.3 centimeters. It's 2.3 repeating, so if I round, it's 2.3. So your homework for this evening, pages 509 to 512, number 9 through 15 odd, number 21, 23, 27 and 28, 29, 31, and 35.